Andre nodded belatedly. Then the two of them really fell silent. Now, he can focus all his attention on missing her. But suddenly his mind was filled with a thick fog, and he couldn't see anything clearly. After, Andre thought to himself silently. Chapter 174 Helen's Holiday. The girl, wearing a nightgown, lay flat on the oversized bed, spread out in a T shape, staring blankly at the ceiling, her chest rising and falling only slightly after a long while. She could lie there all day if no one disturbed her. Helen was not happy this summer. Her days were much harder than in previous summers. Before meeting that man, her summer vacation was full of fun and excitement. You can wander aimlessly around your own territory, eat all kinds of local delicacies, listen to the reports from your entourage, and then receive all kinds of praise and compliments, whether real or fake. If she had chosen to stay in the capital, she would have been a regular guest at the tea parties of various noble ladies, constantly being invited to visit different homes every day. She calmly sipped her tea while listening to their idle chatter about all sorts of trivial matters, always with a smile on her face. Only when the topic shifted from gold and silver jewelry and a handsome young man to bad-mouthing someone else did she become interested in listening. Although the shallow and foolish faces of those noble ladies are a bit of an eyesore, it's still a good way to pass the time. Usually, while drinking tea, summer vacation is over. Looking back, I can't remember anything. My mind is blank, and I feel very relaxed and happy. But this time it's different. After that man left, she lost interest in everything. I have no interest in going out, no interest in putting on an act, no interest in eating, and no interest in breathing. In fact, she didn't need to breathe. She only took a symbolic breath to appear human. But since she rarely even sees the maid in her house, she doesn't need to act anymore. I have no interest in thinking, except when the image of that man flashes in my mind. The happiest moment of her day is when she pays attention to his life, but after doing so, she gets so angry that she can't sleep. She was so lovesick that she couldn't eat or drink. That guy, on the other hand, is always flirting with all sorts of women and laughing all the time. Osmanil, all chaykul, all loud love, all cool love, all loud love. Yet, there isn't a single person who has the leisure to quietly gaze at the night sky, their eyes vacant, longing for someone. Someone. Occasionally, she would make a pang of anger and decide to stop caring about that matter, dressing up beautifully and making a stunning appearance again at the gatherings of aristocratic ladies, becoming the center of attention. However, she lacks perseverance in this area and can never stick to it for more than half a day. I should have known better than to pretend. Helen muttered again, her eyes hardening. Just wait until you get back, and I'll see how I deal with you. Her expression turned fierce for only a few seconds before she couldn't help but laugh again. What are you doing hiding in your room all day, grinning like an idiot? Someone said something outside the door. Helen sat up, glanced over there, and the door opened. Lovia entered the room, closed the door behind her, and then walked straight over. Cousin, it's been a long time. Helen smiled. Yes, it's been a long time. Lovia came over, drew back the curtains, and opened the window, letting in the fresh air and bright sunshine. Is Mother doing well over there? Helen asked. My father took her back to his fiefdom. I don't know much about the situation there, but should be fine. Lovia stood by the window, looking at the scenery outside. Although I'm glad she can go back to the place where she grew up to stay temporarily, I'm a little worried that she might not want to come back, Helen sighed. She should come back, but I can't guarantee it. Well, let's talk about it in 2 months. I'll pick her up in person when summer vacation is almost over. You better not go. Having the intention is enough. Lovia glanced at her. Helen chuckled. If only Mother were as brave as you. I don't think that's a compliment, Lovia muttered. Helen heard it, but pretended not to, saying, let me take a shower and change my clothes, then I'll have tea with you. No need. Lovia sat on the bed, turning to the side. I didn't come here to have tea and chat with you. What is that for? You know perfectly well, Lovia said. I know that even if you don't leave the capital, you can't hide anything from you. He left the capital yesterday evening with Prince Zog. Really? Helen looked tired and yawned. Sorry, I'm not interested in other men. I have my own man. Lovia looked at her intently. I received confirmation that they're heading towards Eagle Peak City. Don't you know what Eagle Peak City is? Eagle Peak City? Never been there. Helen's voice was listless and somewhat indistinct. Lovia took a deep breath, her temper flaring. That's your man's hometown. She shouted into Helen's ear. Helen covered her ears, looking pained. Cousin, I was just teasing you. There's no need to torture my ears like this. Lovia remained silent. then grabbed Helen's face with both hands and squeezed it wildly until tears welled up in her eyes. Don't tell me you're not curious about what they're going to do, Lovia said coldly. What if they're going to chop off your man's head? Let him be chopped off, that womanizer. He deserves to be taught a lesson. Anyway, I can put his head back on even if it's gone. Helen smiled. Lovia ignored her. As everyone knows, Prince Zog doesn't show himself easily, let alone with the Crown Prince. Those guys were in an uproar when they found out, including my old man, who sent people to follow them. Soon that city will be very lively. Oh, so you came here just to tell me this? Helen raised an eyebrow. I also want to go to Eagle Peak City. Lovia finally stated her purpose. Isn't your family going to send someone? You can go with them. My father won't let me go, Lovia said coldly. Why? Isn't he the one who loves you the most, his precious granddaughter? Lovia sighed. Eagle Peak City is a place where various ancient ruins are frequently unearthed. They speculate that this time the royal family must have received news that a super ruin, which even the royal family cannot ignore, has appeared. Such ruins attract many people to fight over them, and even 7th-tier experts will be mobilized. Those who are not strong enough will only be sent to their deaths if they go in, so... You don't actually want to go into the ruins, you just want to chase after a man, Helen Eanes said bluntly. But I can't tell my grandfather that. Lovia frowned. Besides, he's definitely going to go into the ruins. I'm worried he might encounter danger, so I have to go with him to check on him. Oh, I'm so anxious. Helen's smile was ambiguous. Do you get so worried if I don't let you go that you can't even sleep at night? Sigh. This damned love, why is it so torturous? Sigh. Don't laugh at me. With your troublemaking personality, how could he possibly miss out on something this exciting? Aren't you worried that once he goes in, he'll never come out again? Lovia's face was icy. He deserves to be stuck here. Helen snorted. Who told him to go out and have fun without taking me with him? But you'll still step in when he's in danger, right? Yes, Helen said quite honestly. I'm angry, but I can't just watch him die, can I? I'm not that kind of cold-hearted woman. So you're going too? Lovia's true colors were revealed. Take me with you. Helen lay weakly on the bed, sighing repeatedly. Take me there. Lovia glared at her. Cousin, you're such a hassle, Helen sighed. That place is crowded and noisy, with all sorts of people and their families there. Who doesn't know your name, Duchess of Fantasia? Do you think your grandfather wouldn't recognize you the moment you show up? At worst, I'll just get a few scoldings when I get back, Lovia said calmly. You don't care that I got scolded along with you? You really are my good sister. At worst, I'll just not show my face, Lovia said. You have plenty of ways to handle this, right? But I have to show my face. I've been separated from my boyfriend for almost 20 days. Shouldn't I see him, kiss and hug him, and roll around in bed together? Helen's voice was righteous and firm. Are you taking me or not? Lovia asked impatiently. Just one word. Of course I can take you, but I have one condition, Helen said with a smile. Explain. You must, Helen paused, then said very seriously, you must take this opportunity to clearly express your feelings to His Highness the Crown Prince. You. Lovia's gaze turned icy. What do you mean, you? Helen retorted, glaring at her. You, a noble lady from a wealthy family, are running around after a man without any status or title, and you're even willing to risk your life. What makes you think you're so low class? Even if you don't care, I feel sorry for you. Lovia was silent for a moment, then said, I'm not ready yet. Please don't force me. When can you ever be prepared for something like this? Helen almost laughed in exasperation. Don't be silly, okay? When it comes to confessing your feelings, you either say it now or you never will. How long are you going to keep putting it off like this? Do you have to wait until he has children with other women before you're willing to say anything? If I tell you now, he will definitely reject me, Lovia said with a somber look in her eyes. He still has that woman in his heart. So what if you were rejected? At least they understood your feelings. Helen Eanes exclaimed, her eyes wide. You can always try again and keep going. I can't do it. Lovia's breathing became rapid. I can't take it. I know it's really painful to be rejected after confessing your feelings to someone you love, Helen nodded. Yeah, luckily, I was the one who got rejected. Can you stop interrupting? Lovia snapped. Who can compare to you two lunatics? Fine. I admit our story isn't representative, but you're the daughter of the Fantasia family. How can you be afraid of being rejected by a man? Helen said coldly. Anyway, if you don't listen to me, I won't take you. Lovia suddenly stood up. If you're not taking me, I'll go by myself. I'll tell your grandfather if you go yourself, Helen said lazily. Can't you be a human being? Lovia was almost in despair. Hee hee. You know best whether I'm human or not. Helen laughed maliciously. I'm not afraid to tell you. I don't want to hear your agonizing little thoughts anymore. My stomach hurts so much I want to bang my head against the wall. If you don't confess this time, not only will I not take you to Eagle Peak City, I'll also find that guy a woman that will make you give up on the idea completely. You dare. Lovia was both shocked and furious. You know in your heart whether I dare or not. Helen's gaze was as deep as an abyss. Cousin, don't try to test my patience. If you piss me off, I'm capable of anything. Think carefully about what to do and tell me when you've made up your mind. No need to think about it. I agree. Lovia almost ground her teeth to powder. Helen's eyes lit up instantly, and she sat up. Great. You finally figured it out. However, I need time to prepare myself mentally. It's impossible for me to confess to him right away, Lovia said softly. Don't doubt me. I will tell him during my time in Eagle Peak City. Of course I don't doubt it, Helen hummed. I'm someone who easily trusts others. Cousin, you are my second closest person, so of course I will trust you. But that doesn't mean I can tolerate being deceived by others. The closer the relationship, the less I can tolerate it. I hope you never get to see the consequences of deceiving me. Suddenly, darkness fell, and the air grew cold and biting. Before Lovia's eyes, the girl's eyes gleamed with a scarlet light in the darkness. It lasted only for a brief moment. Lovia had almost forgotten how to breathe. Her back was cold and damp. Don't be nervous, cousin. I won't do anything inappropriate to you, but I can't guarantee the same for others, Helen said with a charming smile. Actually, even if you didn't come to me, I would have gone to see him. It would be great to have someone to keep me company. Because I was already starving. Chapter 175, Swift and Decisive Action. Perseus has already integrated both the people on Lord Robert's side and the people on Count Murphyat's side. After dealing with Mario and the others, he immediately went to the city Lord's mansion. The adventurers hadn't left yet. They were gathered in the hall, lined up in neat rows, each with a solemn expression. In front of them was a platform, on which lay the frozen and preserved head of the elf, Dylan. It has to be said that human heads are a really good thing. Everyone likes them. Sometimes, if you don't have enough, you have to borrow from others. It's really useful. Perseus climbed the steps again and counted. The main force was still there. Only a few insignificant minor figures had left. He remembered all of these people, and when he encountered them at the ruins of God, he would kill them immediately. Now that things have come to this, there's no need to say more. After spending less than a day together, everyone has already established a tacit understanding. Robert seemed very satisfied with his performance, praising him incessantly, which made him a little embarrassed. Robert's son, Daniel, volunteered to join one of the three teams, and Robert agreed without hesitation. He stayed at the Earl's mansion at night, but often visited the City Lord's mansion during the day. 2 peaceful days passed, nothing happened in Eagle Peak City, and the hustle and bustle continued. But Perseus knew very well that in a few days, this excitement would expand beyond its limits. On the afternoon of the 3rd day of the 3-day period ordered by the Dog Emperor, a convoy adorned with royal flags drove into Eagle Peak City in a grand procession, attracting the attention of the entire city. Perseus was summoned to the City Lord's mansion ahead of time. Also present were nobles and officials of all ranks from Eagle Peak City. Even Count Murphy had to grit his teeth and head to his enemy's territory, where everyone lined up in neat rows, quietly awaiting the arrival of the important figure. The Royal Knights were the first to arrive and clear the area, guarding all the intersections. They even broke into and occupied nearby high-rise buildings, checking every room and rooftop to ensure that no one with ill intentions was hiding. A moment later, the convoy entered the City Lord's mansion and lined up in front of everyone. Crown Prince Andre was the first to jump off the carriage. He coldly swept his gaze across everyone's faces, lingering only briefly on Perseus's face before turning back to the carriage. "Uncle," Andre said respectfully. Prince Zog then got out of the carriage, clutching the unsheathed sword tightly in his hand. Upon seeing the man, Perseus heard the heartbeats around him quicken, and people were swallowing hard. No one dared to look directly into those cold, sharp, vulture-like eyes. "Who is the City Lord?" Zog asked. Robert walked over, bowed, and said, "Greetings, Your Highness the Crown Prince and Your Highness the Prince." "Who is Perseus?" Zog asked again. Perseus walked over as well, and the nobles and officials behind